world of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
And now, with the main news bulletin, this is Curtis Lumingu.
Good morning, this is 5FMA News, the headlines. Zambia losing revenue through tax evasion. Government urged to expedite the process of taking the climate change bill to Parliament. And seized Russian super yacht Axioma to be sold at Gibraltar auction. And now for the news in detail. A local policy think tank, the Zambia Institute for Policy Analysis and Research, ZIPA, has recommended that the government rationalizes tax exemptions as well as standardized tax rate in order to minimize tax evasion. Institute researchers in Public Finance Unit, Kadikeka Mbewe, has noted that the country is losing a lot of revenues through tax evasion and corruption, among other illicit financial flows. Mr. Mbewe added that the government should also tap into the informal sector to avoid losing revenue, considering that many people are using mobile money platform to transact. He says government needs to engage the Zambia Information and Communication Technology Authority ZICTA to merge this database in order to trace transactions in the informal sector and find ways of taxing them. Fighting Inequality Alliance Assistant National Coordinator Mputa Ngalande has insisted that the government must avail to the nation the conditionalities that are attached to the much-awaited International Monetary Fund IMF package. Mr. Ngalande says going by the previous experience on IMF conditions, which brought about serious impact on the citizens, the alliance does not want history to repeat. Mr. Ngalande has observed that the country has been failing to mobilize domestic resource because not much is being done to promote industrialization, hence seeking the IMF bailout package, which he feels is not sustainable. And Mr. Ngalande says the alliance is against the government's idea of placing tax burden on citizens by removing subsidies on fuel, as it has triggered an increase in the cost of living.
Can you show us what the conditionalities of this deal that we want to sign or that is coming with the IMF, the conditionalities? If you can't show us, then show our representative in Parliament so that they can input because we elected them. Those are the questions that, as Fighting Inequality, keen on asking, because there's a lot of saying of transparency and accountability. Then who hold people that make these decisions accountable?
Climate Smart Agriculture Alliance Zambia National Coordinator Abel Musumali has called on the government to expedite the process of ensuring that the climate change bill is taken to Parliament without delay. Green Economy and Environmental Minister Collins Nzovu recently disclosed that the development of climate change bill has reached an advanced stage. Speaking in an interview with 5FM News, Mr. Musumali feels the process has been long overdue given the impact of climate change on various sectors of the economy, agriculture and energy. Mr. Musumali says there is also need to do a stock take in terms of how much the country has been receiving for climate change from foreign aid in order to assess its impact.
As a civil society organization, we are calling upon the government to expedite the process to make sure that the climate change bill goes to Parliament for adoption. We know it's been a long process, but it's long overdue. Looking at how issues of climate change are impacting the world and also Zambia in particular, and there is need also to take a stock take in terms of how much of climate finance has come into the country over the years, and also just to make an assessment in terms of the impact of this climate financing, and also just to assess the gap moving forward.
Break the Silence Civil Society Organization of Zambia says the country needs legislation that will tackle plastic crisis at production and shifts responsibility for plastic pollution onto corporations. Organization Chief Executive Director Richard Mutwa has told 5FM News that retailers must move away from single-use plastic and invest in reuse and refill solutions, including the introduction of paper bags. Mr. Matwa, who is concerned with plastic pollution, which are causing environmental degradation, says it is time to break the silence on these issues because this is a problem far too big to tackle with forced solution of recycling or plastic straw ban.
We all know that plastic takes thousands of years to decompose. The danger of plastics to environmental degradation cannot be overemphasized. For example, during the rain seasons, they add up to dirt in towns. They cause drainage blockages, leading to water overflowing on the roads, causing our very roads constructed by government at a very high cost to get damaged fast. This is like shooting ourselves in the leg. We therefore ask government to take into consideration or to put up laws that will regulate the use of plastic, starting from the manufacturers to the users.
Iteji Power Corporation says investment in corporate social responsibility activities has had a positive impact on the lives of Iteji residents. Mr. Moses Mbota, Chief Executive Officer of the corporation, said during a stakeholders meeting at Musungwa Lodge in Iteji that the company, since its inception, has spent on various CSR activities with a focus on education, health and water and sanitation. He stated that the corporation rehabilitated and expanded the water supply system and expanded sewerage treatment plant. He said the other direct benefits during construction phase were rehabilitation and upgrading of Katawa substation from 1 MVA to 10 MVA at a cost of $1,711,655 million. Meanwhile, a member of parliament for Iteji stated that the stakeholders meeting was critical because it aligned with the cabinet resolution of July 2022, which stated that any investment in chiefdoms should benefit the surrounding communities. Mr. Twambo Mutinta stated that this is because the UPND government believes that this is the only way to foster development in rural areas.
The effects of COVID-19 are visible everywhere. Many companies have folded. Some businesses are barely trying to stay afloat. Owing to this, most business owners don't even have enough left to promote their businesses. 5FM Radio is here to help you boost your businesses by offering you affordable rates. Call us on 077-167-8577 or 0950-601616. 5FM Radio, offering you COVID-19 relief advertising packages.
That item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the top stories. Zambia losing revenue through tax evasion. Government urged to expedite the process of taking the climate change bill to Parliament. Seized Russian superyacht Ashioma to be sold at Gibraltar auction. For more news, visit our website on www.5fm.co.zm or like us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia. Remember to abide by the tenets of the new normal by observing frequent hand washing, sanitizing, social distancing, and wearing a face mask in public places. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM. I am Curtis Lumingu. Good morning.